And welcome back to another video on the Sham Constant. Today, we're going to be learning why the mosquito, the tiny mosquito, is the world's deadliest creature. When we think about deadly creatures, we think about the animals with raw power, with the big claws, the big teeth, like sharks, lions, and bears. But the true threat to humanity is not massive or muscular. It's subtle, microscopic, and airborne. This is the true death toll on humans from mosquitoes. 725,000 annual human deaths or more every single year from mosquitoes. I want you to remember this number because I'm going to be comparing it to the other death tolls from other animals. So, the anatomy of the mosquito bite is we're going to focus on the female mosquito because that's the type of mosquito that bites the humans. The two outer needles are seen through the skin, while others probe to locate a blood vessel. Basically, the mosquito is looking for blood. It feeds off blood, and humans are easy targets. They land on your skin, find the blood vessel, and inject their saliva containing an anesthetic and an anticoagulant, preventing the blood from clotting while they feed. Now, the deadly part is not the bite. The lethality lies entirely in what is injected during the process. See, a mosquito doesn't always just feed on human blood. It feeds on many different animals' blood. Say a bear is infected with a deadly virus. When a mosquito feeds on the bear, its saliva is injected into the bloodstream, but it also collects a virus that goes into the saliva, which is then injected into the human bloodstream when the mosquito starts feeding on a person. This is how diseases are spread. A mosquito receives the deadly disease from an animal and then transfers it into the human bloodstream through its saliva when it feeds on the human blood. These are the big three pathogens that mosquitoes carry. The main one, being malaria, is responsible for over 600,000 deaths a year. Dengue fever and yellow fever are also very serious diseases that are also carried by mosquitoes. So this hopefully you can see this map. This kind of shows the global hotspots for where mosquitoes are. So mosquito-borne diseases are not evenly distributed. Like this bullet point says here, they're heavily concentrated in tropical and subtropical regions. Oh, sorry about that. However, climate change is expanding the habitable zones for these insects, pushing diseases like dengue further into North America and Europe. Basically, because of climate change, different places are becoming more habitable for mosquitoes, making mosquito populations spread around the world. So there's three main different types of mosquitoes who all carry different diseases. First is the Anopheles, the exclusive transmitters of human malaria. Remember, the main disease that human mosquitoes carry. There's also the Aedes mosquito, which transmits the dengue, Zika, and yellow fever. Lastly, there's the Culex, the primary vector for the West Nile virus and Japanese encephalitis. Now, these two viruses are much rarer than malaria and the dengue, Zika, and yellow fever, but are still very fatal for humans. So remember the number 725K? Now we're going to be comparing that death toll to other animals on humans. As you can see, it's the annual human fatalities by an animal. Actually, on this chart, humans are second due to homicide. And the second highest death toll from an animal is actually the snake at 100,000. 725K compared to 100,000. That's more than a 600,000 amount difference. That's how much more dangerous mosquitoes are than any of these other animals. And those animals that I talked about at the start, lions and sharks, look, all the way on the bottom here. 106 deaths per year. There are more than 8 billion people on our planet, and only 106 people are dying a year from lions and sharks, while over 700,000 are dying from mosquitoes due to diseases like malaria, dengue, and Zika. Now, these are the breeding grounds for these mosquitoes. Mosquitoes love the water, which is why urban waste environments like standing water is big for mosquitoes. Like also stagnant ponds and water storage, more water. Anopheles mosquitoes love stagnant ponds. They prefer clean, unpolluted, but slow-moving or stagnant water bodies in rural and agricultural areas. Some regions lack piped water, but large water storage is great for mosquitoes as well. There's some ways to fight back against these mosquitoes. There's insecticide-treated nets. Providing bed nets in high-risk zones remains one of the most cost-effective and successful interventions for malaria control globally, basically protecting people from getting bitten by mosquitoes. Just like vaccines developed a few years ago to the COVID pandemic, there are vaccines for malaria which can stop the severity of mosquitoes biting humans and transmitting malaria into their bloodstream. There's genetic modification. Scientists are releasing genetically modified, sterile male mosquitoes or mosquitoes infected with Wolbachia bacteria to safely collapse local disease carrying populations. Basically, using the male mosquitoes who are infected by Wolbachia bacteria to help to try and bring down the population of the female disease carrying populations. There's also source reduction. Community-led initiatives to empty, cover, or treat with standing water. Remember, standing water is where mosquitoes love to breed. So, the community-led initiatives to empty, cover, or treat standing water in urban areas are crucial for stopping Aedes mosquitoes outbreaks. So, all in all, we need to respect the real apex predator, the mosquito, which is truly the most dangerous animal on the planet. Thank you for joining this video, and I hope you loved this video on the Sham constant.